I think America did not notice that its freedom was hijacked quietly by a handful of companies that control the food system. And after having taken away the freedom of American farmers, pushing them off the land, turning America, a land of farmers, into a land without farmers, they then moved around the world through the World Trade Organization. The 5 big seed companies that control the seed supply of the world, of them, the biggest is Monsanto. It's pushing genetically engineered seeds around the world. It has pushed 200,000 Indian farmers to suicide. Cargill, another American company, the biggest grain trader of the world, is the reason behind the price rise. It's the reason behind this trade in food where Cargill buys cheap from farmers and sells dear in the market. I think the monopolies that have got created in agriculture have created an agriculture that is bad for the earth. It is causing climate change. 35% climate emissions are coming from an industrial agriculture that create the markets for these companies. And in addition, these are the same companies that are then causing hunger, poverty, debt around the world. I think that the action around food democracy must begin in the States, because the problem of food insecurity begins in the United States. I know the Americans are very excited about an election that's going to take place, but the real democracy is in our kitchens. It's on our farms. It's in our everyday eating habits. And as long as giant corporations shape food systems for their profits alone, because of greed, we will not be able to solve the problem of the environment. We will not be able to solve the problem of hunger. We will not be able to solve the problem of diseases related to bad food, obesity, diabetes. All of this is coming from the same kind of food that is then leading to greenhouse gas emissions, giving us climate problems, and it's the same kind of food production that's driving farmers off the land. There is an assumption that as we run out of oil and as the climate instability grows, the problems can be solved by turning soybean into biodiesel, ethanol into corn. But we have seen in the last year how the diversion of food to biofuels has contributed in a serious way to the price rise. 75% of the rise in food prices has come because of this diversion. If you're not diverting food, recycling waste like waste oil from restaurants, that's fine. If your cars are being driven on the waste oil from McDonald's, that's all right. Of course, I would not like to see McDonald's continue. I would prefer a system where we do not waste the kind of oil that's being wasted in our food system. There's so much diversity in the world that we can have sustainable biofuels, not to drive cars, but to light a lamp in a village hut, to pump out water, to make sure people meet their drinking water needs. But the distorted biofuel production at an industrial scale is replicating the worst problems of industrial agriculture, the worst problems related to monocultures, and the worst problems related to monopolies. And that's why I have been very, very critical of industrial biofuels. I do not want to see the Amazon cut down so that people can drive their cars a few years more. I do not want to see the rainforests of Indonesia cut down so that palm oil can be used for biodiesel. I think we are at a very serious moment in human evolution. The financial world is collapsing around us and is hurting the Americans more than anyone else, because Americans were integrated more deeply into an economy based on credit, economy based on borrowing, economy based on living beyond your means. There's only one solution to living in ways that do not need huge amounts of credit, and that is to shift to ecological local agriculture. But ecological local agriculture also solves the climate problem. It reduces emissions by 35%, and it gives us better food, more employment on the land. We are on the cusp of a possible potential revolution around food and agriculture. It's up to us to take the challenge and shape it. There's been so much awareness created around climate change, especially after Al Gore's contributions of his film The Inconvenient Truth and his book. But the one piece missing, even in the best contributions, is the piece on food and agriculture. Industrial factory farms are a major source of methane. It's the gas that stinks when a hog farm comes up near your place, or a chicken battery comes up nearby, or a beef lot comes up near your house. Ordinary animals that graze do not emit methane. Chicken that go around the farm collecting worms are not a source of methane. It's factory farms that are a major source of methane. Nitrogen oxide is one of the most potent greenhouse gases. It comes from the application of chemical fertilizers. These fertilizers are made from fossil fuels. Nitrogen oxide is 300 times more dangerous for the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. So between the methane from factory farms, the nitrogen oxides from chemical farming, and the carbon dioxide from large-scale mechanization as well as long-distance transport, we have a 35% climate problem in industrial food and a 35% climate solution in ecological food. We want to solve the climate problem. Let's change the way we grow food and how we eat.